지난 7월 지니어스법이 통과되면서 가상화폐 시장 시가총액이 약 5,500조 원을 돌파했습니다. 디지털 금융질서는 이미 크게 전환 중인데요. 대한민국 가상자산만 해도 시총 108조 원. 날이 갈수록 더 뜨거워지는 가상자산을 향한 관심. 한국 디지털 자산 산업의 글로벌 시장 진출을 위한 대법은 무엇일까요? 국내외 디지털 자산 전문가와 금융, 법률, 학계 인사들이 모였습니다. 최근 관심을 모으고 있는 원화 기반 스테이블코인. 글로벌 금융의 판도를 바꾸며 부상 중인데요. 현황과 쟁점, 기대 효과는 물론 경쟁력 확보에 필요한 지원과 규제 현황까지 집중 조명합니다. 대한민국 디지털 금융 르네상스를 꿈꾸며 글로벌 경제의 주요 축으로 성장 중인 디지털 자산의 공조 방안은 무엇일지 매일경제TV와 웨이브릿지가 공동 개최한 골든 웨이브 2025에서 공개합니다.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone, my name is Lily. I am the president of the Solana Foundation. I've been working in crypto for over a decade now, back from when I first heard about Bitcoin in 2013, and it was considered a very fringe thing back then, and how far we've come as an industry. But I've always believed in the potential of what blockchain could accomplish, not just as Bitcoin's store of value digital asset, which I think is something that now most people around the world really embrace. But I think the broader vision of blockchain from the very beginning is the title of the Bitcoin white paper. It does not say Bitcoin as digital gold, Bitcoin as a store of value, but it says a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And so the broader vision that was put out at the very beginning is maybe you can build this internet native financial system where in the same way today we all use the same underlying rails of the internet. And is neutral, largely neutral to any of the content, the application sitting on top of that. What if we could do the same thing with money and have a set of rails that preserves the scarcity of information, scarcity of content, and that scarcity now becomes money, versus what we have in the internet up until now, which is really oriented around virality. And so this is, for me, has been the primary motivation why I think blockchain has been interesting from the very beginning. What you'll hear us talk a lot about within Solana is Solana's infrastructure for internet capital markets. And so let me talk a little bit more about why we think that is important, why we think it's interesting. And I'll largely be talking about this in the context of the US economy, US capital markets, so just keep that in mind for a second. So one observation is that today's capital markets don't actually work for everyone. And so Larry Fink here, one of the largest, if not the largest asset manager in the world, he's putting it in his words. I hear it from nearly every client, every leader, every person I talk to. They're more anxious about the economy than any time in recent history. I understand why. Somehow in the long run, we figure things out. But are we really? What's going on here? It seems that you've got the stock markets hitting all-time highs, and yet at the same time, in the US, and really I think we see this throughout the world, even as asset prices keep on climbing higher and higher, everyone should be happy, right? But in fact, there's ever more economic anxiety, and what this is affecting is actually the very sort of, the very ties of social security and cohesiveness. So what you also see this now being reflected in is compared to even just 10 or 15 years ago, 27% of Americans believe the American dream actually exists. This is really at the core of what makes America sustainably a nation. And this is 15 years ago, that was 50%, right? So you have a halving of that in just 15 years. What's going on here? So what's underlying this is that your freedom is hyperinflating. What do we mean by that? In 1971, about 50 years ago, it would take you about 25 hours of work in order to buy one share of the S&P. And today, it's now 8x that price. You've got to work nearly 200 hours in order to buy one share of the S&P 500. And so global small business access to capital markets, this is sort of what I think technology always does, is it always takes the long tail of of market participants and enables them to more seamlessly, more readily access that market. And so what the potential is here is to enable that longer tail of issuers around the world. And this does not necessarily mean low quality issuers, but makes capital markets access more accessible to a broader array of issuers. Let's skip that. In the past, the only way people were able to do what you could call a direct listing is there's a small handful of typically tech stocks with an existing consumer user base that have the mind share and visibility to be able to even execute on direct listing. What happens with a blockchain is it essentially reduces the cost of becoming an issuer in a way such that this opportunity is more broadly available to a larger number of issuers. And so what we are building within Solana is we have had this vision of you have one chain, one environment, one liquidity environment for the full range of assets and the full range of primitives or the ways to use those assets co-located to preserve liquidity, which is one of the most important features of any financial market, any capital market. And so what we're focused on is having the whole range of assets, right? In crypto, certainly one of the critiques has been, well, the things on chain, they're low quality, highly speculative assets that have no value, they only have price. You're not wrong. But those are assets that there's a lot of people actually do like to engage in, whether they want to admit it or not. Then at the other end of the spectrum, there are assets that have a lot of value, but they may not be able to command price. And this is that's the whole spectrum of assets that I think are going to be coming on chain that are at the center of this boom in tokenization RWA, which is to broaden the set of assets that one can access using what is actually just neutral financial infrastructure, open source financial infrastructure that's available anywhere you are on the internet. So the vision that we have is really, what engineers will oftentimes call a single state machine. I think from the capital markets perspective, you could refer that as really an environment of unified liquidity. And the vision for blockchain that really Bitcoin gave us is that wherever there's an internet connection, there's a bank account. There's a wallet where there's financial rails, capital markets that are always on and accessible to 5.5 billion people that are on the internet today. And so I think where this industry is going is that capital markets now become a feature on any tech platform. Anyone, if you want to, if you should be, it's up to you, can be a trader. Every application through wallet APIs can have an embedded wallet, actually becomes fundamentally a potentially financial experience. And this is really supercharging what we already saw over the last 10 or 15 years, where you took social, converged that with goods and services and commerce, and made these apps into super apps, chat to finance, and now this is really supercharging that to be available to really every application. And also anything can now become a financial asset. It opens the door where anyone could theoretically be a coffee shop even, can be an issuer. And so, the end state here is, I think what I think tech oftentimes does is it takes value chains that are B2B to B to B to B to C and collapses them down such that there's much more direct interaction, direct distribution onto these radically open rails. That's what you saw with the internet, with the iPhone, with all these transformational platforms, and that's what you're seeing with crypto as well. And this is where what has been kind of the sources of innovation over the last 10 years. There's oftentimes discussion of, is this really innovative at all? We got a lot of financial innovation in the past, and now over the last 15 years, 20 years, all we've gotten out of Silicon Valley is the Y Combinator safe notes to underwrite a lot of these consumer two-sided marketplace platforms over the last 10 years. And how do we get back to financial innovation that is available to all on the internet? And that is one way of seeing all the things that are maybe a little bit crazy that have been happening in crypto. They may seem very far afield, but ultimately what's happening here is an explosion of these new types of things that you can do with access to this new infrastructure. So that is what we talk about a lot within Solana, infrastructure for internet capital markets.
Thank you. So hi everyone, I'm Kenix. 안녕하세요. John actually gave me a mission in order to come here. So I actually have to share like what's happening and where we are in Hong Kong right now. So here am I. Victory Security is the first broker-dealer in Hong Kong which obtains all the virtual asset-related license. And we have engaged in these services since 2 years ago. And about the stablecoin, I think the Hong Kong government or the Hong Kong MA actually take reference for different stablecoin bills around the world. And actually, they focus on investor protection as well. So licensee must maintain at least 100% reserve backing with high quality liquid asset. And also the operation and governance standards has to meet the Hong Kong MA standards as well. And the licensee or the stablecoin issuer has to also conduct regular audits to ensure the stability and the user confidence. And actually there are 3 types of stablecoin which would fall into the supervision of the Hong Kong MA. The first one is issuing any fiat reference stablecoin in Hong Kong, no matter what kind of fiat currency you are referencing on. So in this case, actually people has been talking a lot about the Hong Kong stablecoin bill. It's actually that apart from Hong Kong dollar stablecoin, there might be US dollar or EU or even offshore renminbi dollar stablecoin in the coming future as well. And the other type is issuing any kind of Hong Kong dollar reference stablecoin inside or outside Hong Kong. And lastly, whenever you are actively promoting the issuance of your fiat reference stablecoin in Hong Kong, you have to get the license as well. So currently there are like 5 types of issuer that you are eligible to get the stablecoin license in Hong Kong. The first one is licensed fiat reference stablecoin issuer. In short, if you are having your license in somewhere around the world, you are also eligible to apply for the stablecoin in Hong Kong as well. And other than that, license exchange in Hong Kong, crypto exchange, banks, broker-dealer like us, and also FVF issuers are also eligible to apply for the stablecoin issuance in Hong Kong as well. For SVF actually is the payment service provider in Hong Kong. So for the minimum regulatory requirements for stablecoin issuers in Hong Kong, basically you have to have 25 million minimum pay-up capital, which is equivalent to around 3 to 3.5 US dollar, 3 to 3.5 million US dollar. And you also have to have the physical company and office established in Hong Kong as well. And for the reserve, like I mentioned, you have to reserve at least 100%, so that means you have to at least have 1-to-1 back in Hong Kong. And you must invest the underlying reserve into high quality liquid asset in Hong Kong as well, such as the government bills and or any kind of banking reserves, banking interest, fixed interest. And also you have to have a very robust price stabilization mechanism, and also you have to ensure subscriber has to have a very efficient redemption policy in place. And last thing is, issuers are prohibited from paying interest to stablecoin holders at the moment. So in Hong Kong, there's like 5 issuers for sport ETFs, and there's 2 futures ETF as well. And one of the issuers is actually Samsung Asset Management Hong Kong. So for the sport ETF, actually currently the ETH has quite a breakthrough in Hong Kong. Is it allows staking features in the ETF as well, and then we believe the staking feature will be available to the public later on as well. So a bit about the company, our companies, Victory Security. So basically, we were focusing on TradFi in the past 50 years, and since 2022, we engage in virtual asset dealing, distribution, advisory, and fund management. And these are a brief milestone of our company as well. So since 2022, we have all our license set up, and afterwards we have we acquire IT company from China, and then we have all our technology IP ourselves, including our APP, our token in, token out features, And we actually have a milestone last year, this year April, so we are trading volume exceed 10 billion Hong Kong dollar, which is around 125 million US dollar. So in the coming half year, we will be focusing on our ecosystem development because the Hong Kong regulation also has a roadmap to expand into different product features such as staking, borrowing, lending, etc. So amount from the licenses, we actually have some several like business approval, which has been the first in Hong Kong as well. For example, the structured product, because Hong Kong environment does not have staking features right now, so we can provide extra yield to our holders by using structured product for now. And also, we are also very actively engaged in RWA and tokenization projects in Hong Kong now. And happy to discuss with you guys in the coffee time later about RWA as well. So lastly, we also have an equity stake in exchange which is getting a Hong Kong license in Hong Kong right now, which is called VDX. So basically, afterwards, we can have a very closed loop of ecosystem of our own in Hong Kong later on. So in the coming half year, we vision ourselves as the Asia Robin Hood. So we will focusing on different ecosystem development, including PayFine, RWA, cross-platform trading, and more product distribution as well. So thank you so much for today. 감사합니다.
안녕하십니까. 오늘 이렇게 디지털 자산의 미래를 논하는 의미 있는 자리에 초대돼서 굉장히 영광스럽게 생각합니다. 그리고 또 디지털 자산 산업에 종사하시는 중요한 분들 앞에서 한국의 가상자산 관련 규제 현황에 대해서 설명드릴 수 있게 되어서 대단히 기쁘게 생각합니다. 현재 한국에서는 시장에서의 변화 요구와 그에 따른 법제의 정비가 진행이 되고 있는데요. 근데 실제 스테이블코인의 활성화에 따른 우려의 시선도 적지 않습니다. 우선 자금 세탁의 가능성이 증가하고 있다. 그리고 외국 환거래 규제 회피에 의한 불법 송금이 활성화될 수 있다. 그리고 전자금융거래법 등 기존 법규와의 정합성 문제로 제기가 되고 있습니다. 그리고 기존 금융권에서는 스테이블코인 발행은 은행권이 중심이 돼야 된다고 하면서 현재 변화되는 시스템에 대해서 거부감을 보이고도 있습니다. 그러나 결국 기존 금융결제 시스템은 변화의 흐름에 적응해야 할 것이고 블록체인 결제 시스템을 활용한 사업 모델을 고민해야 할 시점이 도래할 것이라고 생각이 됩니다. 그렇다면 한국에서 스테이블코인에 대한 법률의 향후의 규제 방식은 어떻게 전개될 것인지를 한번 예측을 해보면은 현재 정부에서는 금융감독당국을 중심으로 해서 가상자산 기본법의 일부로서 스테이블코인 규제 법안을 준비하고 있습니다. 그리고 국회에서 준비 중인 법안의 경우에도 가상자산 기본법의 일부인 경우도 있고 그 독자적 법률로서 발의된 경우도 있습니다. 따라서 향후에는 정부 법안과 국회 법안을 함께 검토해서 대안 법률로서 제정될 것이 예상이 되고 있고요. 다만 스테이블코인에 대한 신속한 규율체계 정립 요구가 많기 때문에 가상자산 법안의 일부로서가 아닌 스테이블코인 단독 법안으로 제정될 가능성도 크다고 하겠습니다. 이 부분은 올해 말까지 상황을 지켜봐야 될 것 같습니다. 안독을 의원실에서 발의한 법안이 보다 자세하고 유의미해서 이를 중심으로 규제 방향을 간단히 말씀드리겠습니다. 참고로 이한 내용은 아직 확정된 법안 내용이 아니기 때문에 스테이블코인의 규제 방향에 대한 방향성에 대한 이해만 하시면 될 것 같습니다. 이러한 내용을 중심으로 정부에서도 그렇고 국회에서도 그렇고 논의가 진행이 되고 있습니다. 스테이블코인의 경우 안정적 가치를 기반으로 지급결제 수단으로서 낮은 수수료와 빠른 이적 속도라는 특장점을 가지고 있습니다. 그러나 스테이블코인은 아까 말씀드렸다시피 통화 및 외환 정책에 미치는 영향이 크고 자금 세탁 행위에 이용될 가능성도 크다고 하겠습니다. 따라서 실물 경제에서의 활용 가능성을 높이면서 예상되는 부작용을 최소화하면서 이에 대한 대응을 하는 것이 필요하다고 하겠습니다. 현재 한국 내에서는 스테이블 코인에 대해서는 자산 연동형 디지털 자산, 가치 안정형 디지털 자산, 가치 고정형 디지털 자산, 어째 다양한 명칭으로 규정을 하고 있습니다. 다만 그 구체적 속성으로는 대략 비슷한 내용을 포함을 하고 있는데 분산 원장상에서 거래되면서 원화 또는 단일의 법정 통화 가치와 연동되어 안정적인 가치를 유지하는 것, 그리고 불특정 다수인 간의 지급을 위해서 사용될 것을 목적으로 설계되어 있다. 이런 기본적 속성을 가지고 있는 것으로 스테이블코인을 규정을 하고 있습니다. 스테이블코인의 규제의 핵심은 그 발행 과정에 있습니다. 우선 발행인에 대한 규제로서 진입 규제이죠. 그 스테이블코인의 발행업자에 대한 사전 인계제를 규정을 하고 있고요. 이 발행인에 대한 자격으로서 은행 등 기존 금융회사에 대해서만 인정을 할 것인지 혹은 비은행 기관에 대해서도 스테이블코인의 발행을 인정할 것인지에 대한 논의가 있습니다. 이 부분은 잠시 뒤에 살펴보도록 하겠습니다. 그 다음 자본금 규제가 논의가 되고 있습니다. 그리고 인가된 사업자가 스테이블코인을 발행하는 경우에 대한 규제가 있는데 이 발행 규제로서 사전 신고제, 즉 발행인이 스테이블코인을 발행하기 위한 총 발행 한도, 유통량 계획 이런 내용들을 백서상에 규정을 해서 미리 신고를 하도록 하는 방안을 고려를 하고 있습니다. 시장의 예측 가능성을 부여를 해서 통화 정책상에 어떤 의미를 부여하기도 하는 것이라고 하겠습니다. 그리고 발행인의 공시 의무, 즉 상품 설명서의 작성 및 공시 의무를 통해서 이용자 보호를 꾀하는 방향을 고민을 하고 있습니다. 앞서 살펴본 발행에 대한 규제와 관련해서 발행인의 자격을 은행권에 한정할 것인지 아니면 비은행권에도 허용할 것인지에 대한 논의가 있습니다. 비은행 기관이 주로 은행권에 한정해야 된다는 주장은 비은행 기관이 발행 주체로 참여할 경우에는 감독 관리 체계의 혼란 우려가 있고 금융 안정성이 위협될 우려가 있다. 이런 내용들을 논거로 제시를 하고 있습니다. 다만 비은행권의 참여는 결제 시스템의 효율성을 높이고 수수료를 낮추는 효과를 가져올 수 있습니다. 그리고 비은행권의 참여로 혁신적인 금융 서비스 개발을 기대할 수가 있고 빅테크 등 비은행권은 블록체인 기술을 활용해서 기존 금융권이 제공하지 못하는 금융 서비스를 개발할 수 있는 장점을 가지고 있다고 할 수 있겠습니다. 따라서 명확한 규제 프레임워크, 예컨대 비은행권에 대해서도 자본금 기준, 엄격한 준비자산 관리 및 건전성 규제 등을 통해서 코인런 등의 위험을 충분히 관리 가능하다. 이러한 의미에서 비은행권에도 발행 자격을 부여해야 한다는 견해가 유력하게 논의가 되고 있습니다. 이상까지 국내에서 한국에서 스테이블코인의 규제 법안에 대해서 규율 방향성에 대해서 논의되고 있는 내용에 대해서 간단하게 말씀을 드렸고 추가적으로 스테이블코인의 활성화에 따른 자금 세탁 방지 규제 체계 마련이라든지 지급 결제 관련 규제 체계를 정비하는 문제도 입법 과제로서 상당히 많이 필요하다고 하겠습니다. 이상으로 발표를 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.